Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from SimpleProgrammer.com. So I was debating answering this email, but you know what, guys? I'm gonna answer this email. I'm gonna give you some raw fucking truth here because you know what? That's what I'm about. And I realize that if I'm not gonna be honest and I'm not gonna be genuine, right? When people ask me questions, then it sort of defeats the purpose of what I'm trying to do here. So there's basically no question or no thing that you can ask me that's off limits, aside from other people in my life who do not want to share the spotlight. So I'm not going to tell you about relatives or family or friends because they typically want to have private lives. And I totally understand that. Like me, just even with the small amount of fame that I have on YouTube, I have a public life. Like people know stuff about me. So I'm willing to answer questions about me, right? I'm willing to as much as possible. And so that's where this falls into. So I got this question actually from Nick, okay? I'm not gonna say his name, his full name, but he said, should I get plastic surgery? And he says, hi John, hope you're well. I have a question you may wish to use in a future video. I'm wondering what your opinion is on plastic surgery as a form of self-improvement. Specifically, I'm interested in your opinion on rhinoplasties, nose jobs, and I'm considering getting one myself. I'm a 26-year-old developer. I take care of my body, visit the gym, and often have dated girls before. However, I'm personally unhappy with the look of my nose, so I'm considering changing it. I've never had plastic surgery before, and I don't want to regret this decision. Is it a terrible idea? Should I learn to accept the face I have? To clarify a few things. One, I'm not expecting this decision alone to change my dating and sex life. This is the only procedure I want to have done, and I have enough money saved up to afford this. Thank you for taking the time to read this. I'm a big fan of your work. It would be great to hear your thoughts. Kind regards, Nick. So, Nick, I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to tell all of you that are watching this. I'm going to make a big reveal here. At the beginning of this year, right? This is 2017. Okay, it's now like what, November that I'm recording this. In February of this year, I had a rhinoplasty done. I had plastic surgery done. Okay, and I'll tell you, you can see from my nose, it looks really perfect now. I like that. No, anyway, no one knows. No, you guys have been watching my videos. You didn't even fucking notice. I think maybe one person made one comment at one point that said, hey, your nose looks a little different. Or I don't know if that even happened. Like, of all the people that watch this video, of most of the people in my life, like, the only person who actually noticed was my sister, okay? But no one else even noticed, okay? So why do I say that? For a couple of reasons. One, I just want to be totally transparent. I want to tell you guys, right? And why did I keep this a secret? Because no one asked me about it, honestly, and because I don't want to draw attention to this. And finally, with Nick making this email the way that he wrote this, I think it's a good time to actually explain why I did it and why I think that it might be a good idea considering a situation like Nick's or mine, myself. So let me talk about me, okay? First of all. So why did I do it? Well, I had this bump in my nose that I didn't like, okay? I didn't like it. Now, did it matter really to my physical attractiveness? I don't know. I mean, no one even fucking noticed when I got it done, so probably not. Probably didn't make much of a difference at all. May have improved my looks a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. I would say yes, but probably a small amount. But was that why I did it alone? There's definitely part of that, right? Definitely part of that. But what it comes down to is this: like, for me personally, I just didn't like it. I didn't like looking in the mirror and seeing that bump because and I had broken my nose a couple times as a kid, so I had a little bit of a crookedness as well in there, and I had a little bit of trouble breathing because I had like an uneven, septal whatever right. So I figured, okay, I kind of want to get this done. I had the money to do it, and I said, all right, I would feel better about myself if I didn't have that bump in my nose. And I know that that's kind of like dumb, right? I recognize this, that like, it's kind of superficial. It doesn't really fucking matter. And like I said, no one even really noticed this anyway. So, but for me, right? It was just something, it was one of those things where, yeah, it cost me some money, but it was worth the money to me because I felt better about myself looking in the mirror. I always wondered what I would look like or feel like if I didn't have that bump there. Now, I could have left it and it could have been fine, and it would have been fine. I lived most of my life with it, but I figured that, look, you only live once. You got this opportunity to make a change, and a small change to your face that you would like to make, right? To get rid of something that you haven't really liked. why not do it? Like there's really not much of a downside to just except that it costing money. It's not like I'm going to miss it, you know what I'm saying? And it could only really improve things, right? So again, it wasn't so much, like I said, for the looks aspect of it. It was one of those things, like psychologically I knew in my mind that it bothered me a lot more than anyone else noticed. I mean, some people might have said, oh, you got a big nose or you got a bump in your nose, but for the majority of people, they just accepted it and didn't notice it. And I recognize that, at least this is my perception. Maybe some of you who've been watching my videos for a while say, no, I totally recognize it. I just didn't say anything. Like, you had a big fucking honking nose with a big bump there, and yeah, that was a good thing you got rid of that. I don't know, maybe that's, but from the reactions I've gotten, like I said, most people didn't even notice. So I realized for myself that it wasn't a big deal, but it was something that was more of a big deal to me than it was to other people. You see what I'm saying? So it was more my perception of it that I cared about. And so to me, you know, personally, it was worth it to pay the money to go through the surgery, which is it was definitely a little more intensive than I'll tell you. Like, a rhinoplasty seems like a small thing. You know, they peel your fucking nose. Like, I don't want to gross you out, but it is definitely, it's definitely an intense surgery. It takes some time to recover, right? It's been about 2 weeks or so, but you guys didn't even notice when I started recording videos. Maybe my nose looked a little swollen or whatnot back at the end of February or so. But my point is just simply this. It was just something that I wanted to do for myself, and that's why I made the decision. And so to answer Nick's question, right? I've basically already answered it. But you know, in this situation, Nick, you know, I don't see anything wrong with this, right? I mean, obviously I'm biased. I made the decision myself. But if it's something that bothers you, right, and it's something that you want to correct and you just don't like it, why not make a change, right? I mean, I've made a lot of changes to other areas of my life, right? And some people say, well, it's not you, it's not your face, or, you know, like, you shouldn't change something about you. Of course you should change something about you. If you don't like something about you, fucking change it, right? I mean, this is what life is about. Like, fucking change it. You got one life. It's short. Like, if you don't like something about you, change it. Now, again, I'm not someone that's going to say, like, oh, you got to do a whole bunch of plastic surgery and you should do all these procedures and shit like that. I'm not for any of that. Like I said, the biggest thing for me was just doing a rhinoplasty. But, you know, for me, it was worth it, right? It was something that makes sense. And so, Nick, in this case, you've got the money, you can afford it, right? I could tell you all the things, like, it's not really going to make much of a difference. It's not going to make a difference really for looks. For the most part, it probably bothers you more than other people notice, right? But I've already told you about that. Like, well, you know that already, Nick, probably, and I knew that. But I have to say this for those who are out there listening that don't know this, maybe, right? So I'll rehash that and say, yeah, like, you know, this is not something that you should not go into a surgery like this and think, okay, I'm ugly now, but once I get this new nose, I'm gonna be a movie star. It's not going to happen, right? It's not going to happen. And there is some risk involved with this, right? I mean, this is a serious surgery. Like, they seriously, you know, that was the biggest thing that was going through my mind was, like, I knew what the procedure was. It's like you make a little incision here and they fucking peel back your entire nose. And they got to shave this shit down. They got to sew that stuff up, right? It's like, it's pretty intense, okay? So shit could go wrong and you could have some bad results. So definitely pick a good surgeon for sure. And you could die. I mean, it's a surgery. Like, you could die. Like, so it is something, you know, you really want to risk your life on a vanity's sake? I would say no. But on a personal confidence, on something that you care about, that makes a difference to you, it might be worth it. So, you know, my general, and that's just my general advice. Again, this doesn't just have to be a rhinoplasty, but if you've got something wrong with you that like, again, not wrong with you, but something that you feel that you don't like about yourself, and you have the means to change it, then you might as well fucking change it. Why not change it if you can? Now, if you don't have the money, right, and you have to, like, get a credit card in order to do this and go into debt, totally different situation, right? If you're believing that changing some aspect of your face is going to change your fucking life, again, this is dreaming. Like, this is not a healthy thing to do. But if you're, you know, a well-adjusted individual and you just have something that you don't like about yourself, change that thing. I have no problem with that. Like I said, I did it myself, and I'm being totally honest with you guys. Some of you are going to judge me, and you're going to be like, John, that is so fucking vain and so narcissistic, and I'm unsubscribing from the channel, dude, because I can't believe you got a nose job. I can't believe it. I can't believe it, man. Your nose looks like fucked up now. some of you are going to think that. That's totally cool. It's fine, because I didn't do it for you. I didn't do it for, for anyone. I did it for me because that was something that I wanted to do, right? It was something that I felt like I wanted to change about myself. And so that's what I would say is, like, if you honestly are doing it because it's something that you want to change about yourself, and this doesn't just apply to surgery as well. This could be, lifting weights. It could be whatever it is, changing your style. It could be changing your personality in some way, to become more bold or more outgoing, or to whatever it is. Like, if you want to change something about yourself because it matters to you, who should be the main judge of your life. Not because you're trying to impress other people, not because other people think you should do something, but because you want to change it about you. You know best. So you make that decision based on that. So I've got some videos, maybe I'll share or some pictures. I got some pictures of the surgery. Let me see if I still have it. If so, then they've already been displayed in this video because Rodrigo put them up there. But yeah, so my big secret's out, guys. I did do a rhinoplasty in February. Like I said, I can't overemphasize enough that if you think that doing something like this is going to change your life because it's going to change how people perceive you, and maybe there's a situation where, like, if you've got some really seriously fucked up kind of bone deformation or whatever it is, then in that case, yes, maybe it make a bigger difference in your life. But again, I've given the caution. I've told you guys, if you do something like this, do it for you. Weigh the consequences very, very heavily in your mind and decide if it's worth it, right? But if you ultimately think, honestly, and a lot of people disagree with me, I'll wrap it up here by saying this. If you honestly think it's worth it to you, that it's worth paying that price or doing that thing, don't let other people tell you it's not. Don't let other people stop you or say it's vanity or say you're narcissistic or any of that shit. If it means it to you, if it's worth it to you, you fucking do it, right? That's what, and you can afford it. You got the means, all this, all the caveats I said before. But that's got to be, like, when you make decisions in your life, the only person you got to fucking please is you. That's how you make decisions in your life. That's because you are the one who is stuck with your life. You're the one who's stuck with your face. Okay, you're the one who's stuck with whatever decisions that you make. So you've got to make those decisions based on you. Okay, and that's what I got to say about that. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. If you haven't subscribed already, click that subscribe button below. Click the bell so you don't miss any videos. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.